What is up guys, it's Cal, and in this video I'm going to show you how to get to the Glory of the Vault Raider achievement. This is a meta achievement that has you get all of the achievements in the Vault of the Incarnate's raid, which does reward a Raging Mag Mammoth mount. And to be honest, compared to other raid meta achievements from past raids, this one's actually pretty easy. It only has one achievement that can be seen as difficult, but it can be made much easier. So first off, let's talk about raid composition. Having Evokers and Demon Hunters in your raid does make Dathea's achievement very easy. Her achievement is the most difficult in the entire meta. If you have at least 5 of a mix of those two classes, so you can have like 2 Evokers and 3 Demon Hunters or whatever, it's mainly because of their glide ability. It is possible to do it without this composition. My raid team did it, but it is recommended. Also having a mix of like 3 hunters and druids, or classes that have like a disengage style ability. It's for the same achievement. Goblins can work as well with their racial. I'd also recommend having a 3rd tank for Broodkeeper's achievement. It makes it much easier. Other than that, having Death Knights for Sennarth's achievement does make it easier, but it isn't 100% necessary. Also Priests to make Eranog's achievement easier, but once again isn't 100% necessary. Also, one person in your raid having the Instance Achievement Tracker add-on, and having it relay messages in raid warning chat. It will tell you when certain criteria has been met for certain bosses. And then finally, you should do this on normal difficulty for the achievements. There's no reason to do it on higher difficulty. So anyways, let's get started. What frozen things do? Eranog's achievement. So at the beginning of the raid, when your group does the little event where you fly on the dragons and kill enemies, you'll want to make sure you take out the left side. This is because there's an item over here that needs to be picked up for the achievement. So once you've done all that, have one person head over there and pick it up. It's in the corner near the start. It's a frozen portal stone. So anyways, when the encounter starts, the person who picked up the stone should stand near the tanks because they'll summon an ice portal and a mob will spawn out of it that should be tanked. This mob has to die for the achievement, although when it does spawn, it will take 96% less damage. So through the fight, the boss casts flame rifts on players, this summons the fire pools under people's feet, put the pools pretty close together. The tank who has the frozen behemoth should drag him through the fire pools to remove his ice barrier buff, which he has I think 8 stacks of. Now, don't drag him through the pools too fast because each one that he gets dragged through does put a magic dot on the raid. So my group would typically drag him through like 3 of them and then wait for the magic debuff to fall off before dragging him through more. This is where priests come in handy since Mass Dispel can remove the debuff. Just keep in mind Mass Dispel removes only 5 debuffs, so the more priests, the easier it is. And you just keep doing this until the behemoth has lost all of his stacks. Once he loses all of his stacks, he will be a burning behemoth, which is what's needed for the achievement. So pop hero or bloodlust, take him out, and the boss for your achievement. The Lunker below, Primal Council's achievement. So after you defeated all of the elemental mini bosses prior to the council, there will be a magma pool to the right of the encounter. You can have one person, or multiple people, fish in the pool, and a lurking Lunker will hop its way into the boss field. Now, you do not have to kill this giant frog because it has way too much health. You just have to defeat the council while this frog is in the encounter. So the frog doesn't need to be tanked. He'll just hop around in the encounter and also pick a random direction with a frontal AoE cone. So just watch out for that. It's very important to watch out for when he hops around. It is dictated by a giant brown swirl on the ground, because if you get hit by it, it will knock you back and it can knock you off the platform. So just defeat the council for your achievement. Nothing but air, Dathea's achievement. So this is the most difficult achievement in the meta. When you get this one, it's pretty much smooth sailing from here. So your group has to gather a total of 8 condensed gales in the encounter and then defeat Dathea for your achievement. These gales are glowy air orbs around the encounter. 5 of them are way high up in the encounter and the other 3 are off to the sides between the outer platforms and the main platform. So let's mention the 3 that are around the edges of the platform first. You'll want classes that have like a disengage style ability to go for these. So hunters, druids, goblins, anything like that. When the first 2 ads spawn, you'll want your tank to bring them into the center and have your group single target one of them. Do not kill both of them at the same time or you're going to have a bad time. Before this ad dies, you'll want your 3 side orb people to get into position. The ad's death will knock those people back and likely over the orb, but they should use their abilities to try to get back on the platform and making an effort to go through the orb. You don't have to click the orb at all, you just have to go through the orb to actually get it. You do have multiple chances at getting these orbs whenever there are ads. Now it's also important to note, if a player dies who has grabbed an orb, and this goes for all 8 of the orbs, if they die once they've grabbed an orb, it's fine, they can die. When an orb is grabbed, they'll get a debuff that they've grabbed an orb and they can't grab another orb. And if you die, you still keep that debuff until the encounter's over. Now, as for the 5 orbs around the top, this is where your evokers and demon hunters come in. The best way to get to the height for these orbs is whenever the boss casts Cyclone. He'll pull everyone towards him. Players who have not grabbed orbs can run into the center and get shot way up to hopefully fall on one of the 5 orbs up in the sky. Now, if you don't have enough classes that can glide, there are these parasol toys that can help as well. Just remember that if you use any abilities once you've activated the parasol, you will lose the slow fall that the parasol gives you. Other than that, what our group used are the Potion of Gusts, and you only need rank 1 of these. They're like the Goblin Raszle where they'll shoot you forward. They're very handy. Once all 8 orbs are grabbed by 8 different people, you can defeat the boss for your achievement. Little Friends, Terros' achievement. So you'll want to split your raid into 3 groups. Try to put even heals into each group since your group is going to be split pretty far. Prior to the fight, you can find these dormant earth nodes around Terros. One is behind, one is to the right, and another is to the left. Your group should be split onto these 3 nodes, and everyone, including melee, but except tanks obviously, should be stacked on these nodes at the start of the fight. When the fight starts, random players will get affected by awakened earth. This is a small circle on them that a spike will shoot out from. When this happens, you should have those players stand on their respective dormant earth. You only need 1 awakened earth circle on it, but it's better to have 2 on it than to have none on it. When all 3 are hit by spikes, then 3 ads will spawn, which should be misdirected to the tank. If you're unlucky and only get 2 dormant earth hits on the first round of spikes, that's fine. Just have your group rotate around to the last dormant earth and have it get hit by a spike to spawn the 3 ads. All of this does have to be done before the first annihilation, because that will destroy all of the spikes. So kill the 3 ads at spawn and Terros for your achievement. I was saving that for later, Sennarth's achievement. So for this achievement, you have to free 5 webbed captives around the encounter. There's a map on the screen now of where all 5 of those are. You free these captives by killing a small spider on top of them. This will spawn a green swirl, and that frees the web, and then Sennarth will kill the captive with the pull-in ability. So it is pretty straightforward. Don't blow up the boss at the start, because at 5% Sennarth will just automatically go to the top. Just slow DPS her and bring all the spiderlings to the 5 individual captives and make sure that Sennarth pulls all 5 of them in to kill them. This is why a DK is pretty good to death grip the small spiderlings. But like I said before, it's not 100% necessary, so once that's done, kill Sennarth for your achievement. The power is mine, Kurog's achievement. So it's pretty straightforward actually. If you've done this fight before, you know the room is split up into 4 quadrants: Earth, Fire, Storm, and Frost. Well, to get this achievement, you need to drag Kurog to those quadrants of the room in that order: Earth, Fire, Storm, and Frost. This will spawn an ad that your group needs to kill. So my group pretty much did this, I guess you'd call it the quick way, I don't know. We started Kurog on the Earth side, which you have to do for the achievement, and we kept him there until like 30 energy, at which point we dragged him to Fire, which does mean the boss will be dragged through the middle. If Kurog is ever dragged through the middle of the room, it will do raid-wide damage, but as you could tell, it pretty much did nothing to our raid. And then at about 50 energy, he was dragged to Storm. Now, we actually kept him in Storm until the first intermission phase. This is because I didn't want to have to worry about the Primal Avatar ad for the achievement, while also worrying about the intermission ads. So once the intermission ads were almost dead, the tanks headed to Frost. So when the ads died, the boss came over to Frost. Now, once this happened, it spawned a Primal Avatar ad in the center of the room, which does need to be tanked, but be careful about pointing the boss towards the raid. Kurog does have that nasty frontal cone. The Primal Avatar ad does random like fire, storm, earth, and frost abilities, but honestly, it died too fast with Hero or Bloodlust to even worry about it. Once Primal Avatar has died, kill Kurog for your achievement. Incubation Extermination. It's Broodkeeper's achievement. So this is where a third tank will come in handy. There are 4 different types of eggs in this fight: earth, fire, storm, and frost. You need those eggs to hatch and kill those nation proto-drakes at the same time for your achievement. So we went ahead and designated 2 egg packs. One was towards the back and the other was towards the front to fully hatch when Broodkeeper is near them, because the 4 eggs out of those 2 packs had all of the elements. So do the fight like normal with 2 egg breakers in the boss group, and when the different types of nation proto-drakes are spawned from the certain eggs that your group has designated not to break with the spear mechanic, your third tank should pick those drakes up and tank them away from the boss and ad group. When that tank has all 4 drakes, pop Hero or Bloodlust to take them all out. You have a 10-second window to do so, and then defeat Broodkeeper for your achievement. And then finally, the old Raszle. It's Raszageth's achievement. Surprisingly, a very easy one for a final boss. So what you want to do is go ahead and split your group for the first intermission phase like you normally do, but you'll want to make sure each group has a class that can glide, whether it's a Demon Hunter or an Evoker, or someone that has that Parasol toy, probably Goblin Racials and Disengage style abilities might also work as well, or possibly even Slowfall abilities. There will be a giant orb that spawns in the center of both side platforms. It won't spawn there until the encounter is actually started. So you'll want to make sure you have 1 person in each group designated to grab that orb. So you want to do phase 1 like normal, and then prior to the boss reaching 65% health, you want your orb grabbing people to run to the sides of the main platform so they can get ready. And then they jump off, use their glides or whatever to get to the side platforms before Raszageth does her ability, which knocks everyone back onto those side platforms. When both players have made it, they should immediately grab their giant orb that's in the center. Now, healers, just be aware, when this happens, these 2 players will take a random big spike of damage. It's only at this point though, it's not through the fight. So when you get knocked back to the side platforms, just be sure to heal them up. Then do the rest of the fight like normal. Both of these players will have a debuff that essentially just says that they both have an orb. Now these players with an orb can die through the fight. It's fine, you just need to make sure you have a res for them in the final phase, because they both need to be alive in phase 3. So fast forward to phase 3. You should designate a spot for both players to stand on that's at the edge of the platform. This is because the storm will come in to envelop the platform like normal, and they both have to be stacked in the storm to spawn a concentrated storm ad. This storm ad acts just like the big ad that you faced in the second intermission phase, where it will spawn like these lightning balls to dodge and all that. Just pop Hero or Bloodlust to kill this thing, and then kill Raszageth for your achievements and your meta. And there you have it, the Glory of the Vault Raider achievement, which awards the Raging Mag Mammoth mount. You know, Dragonflight has been a pretty good expansion, but my biggest gripe with it is all of these mounts that we can get that we will probably never use since they aren't dragon riding mounts. It's kind of a bit annoying. But anyways, that's the entire video. If you guys enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like on it. You can sub to the channel for more videos like this, and I will see you all in the next video.